Imagine a basketball prodigy who sold out arenas, shattered TV records, and turned a struggling league into a cultural juggernaut, all in her first season. Now imagine that same star getting knocked to the floor night after night, with referees standing silent. That's the story of Caitlin Clark's 2024 WNBA rookie season with the Indiana Fever. A fairy tale on paper, but a battle on the court. From viral fouls to whispered conspiracies, her year sparked a firestorm over officiating that's forcing the league to rewrite its rulebook for 2025. But was the fix fast enough, or did it come at a cost nobody saw coming? Let's dive into the footage, the numbers, and the behind-the-scenes moves that made Clark's debut the most controversial in WNBA history. Caitlin Clark didn't just arrive in the WNBA, she detonated. Drafted first overall by the Indiana Fever, she turned sleepy arenas into electric hubs overnight. Her debut game drew 2.12 million viewers, the most for any WNBA game in 2 decades. By June, 9 separate TV milestones had fallen, with broadcasts pulling numbers the league hadn't touched since its infancy. In Indianapolis, ticket demand crashed the Fever's website in 15 minutes flat. Economists jokingly dubbed the team's new $78 million practice facility the Clark Bank, because her merch sales and sponsorships were practically paying the bills. From Seattle to Dallas, every game carried the same warning: no walk-up tickets, every seat gone. Clark's step back, threes became must-see TV, and her $28 million Nike deal only fueled the hype. One analyst crunched the numbers. Clark alone drove 26.5% of the WNBA's economic activity in 2024, a year when ratings spiked 170%, the biggest leap in league history. But while fans cheered, a shadow loomed. Something was happening on the court that the stat sheets barely caught. Basketball rewards aggression. Drive hard, draw contact, earn free throws. But for Clark, the whistle often stayed quiet. On June 1st, Chicago Sky's Chennedy Carter slammed into her off the ball, a hip check so loud it echoed on the broadcast. No call. The clip hit 20 million views by morning, and only then did the league quietly upgrade it to a flagrant foul. Fast forward to the playoffs, Game 1 against Connecticut. Sun guard Dejounte Carrington swiped at a pass, her fingernail catching Clark's eye. She crumpled, eye swelling, but the refs didn't blink. No whistle, no review. Social feeds exploded, with close-ups of her black and blue face. Then there was June 13th in Seattle. Clark crossed over, slowed up, and got whistled for an offensive foul on contact so light the announcers openly questioned it on air. 3 plays, 1 pattern. Clark took hits, and the calls didn't come. Fans screamed bias, but the truth ran deeper than a single bad ref. The numbers tell a story that feels personal. Clark finished top 5 in usage rate, how often a player drives the offense, yet averaged just 3.7 free throws per game, the lowest for any high-usage guard in a decade. Meanwhile, 17% of all flagrant fouls called in 2024 landed on her, with on top 4/5 of those from one team, the Chicago Sky. On August 18th, Clark slapped the backboard in frustration after missing a deep 3. The ref hit her with a technical, calling it disrespectful to the game. 2 plays later, she took a shoulder to the ribs. No call. Defenders started testing the waters, bodying her 30 feet from the rim. It wasn't dirty. It was practical. If history showed the whistle wouldn't blow, why not lean in? Fans called it the Clark tax, the hidden price of her fame. But why were refs letting it slide? The answer starts far from the court, in the WNBA's back offices. Referees in the NBA can earn $500,000 a year. In the WNBA, they pull closer to a high school principal's salary, and only for a few months. Most juggle college or international gigs in the off-season, and turnover is brutal. A new 2024 labor agreement bumped pay slightly and added daily feedback through the NBA's grading system, but the job stays seasonal. Monty McCutcheon, the league's referee development chief, admitted the WNBA's growth outpaced its officiating pipeline. More viewers, same thin staff. With only 3 refs per game and limited replay tools, missed calls weren't flukes. They were baked into the system. When a player like Clark, Who bends the game with her range and speed steps onto that stage? Every no call turns into a headline. Fixing it would take more than a pep talk. It took a billionaire with a point to prove. The tier. Pressure wasn't just on refs, it was on the league itself. Michael Jordan called for better protection for Clark, arguing the WNBA was risking its biggest asset. Steph Curry compared her shooting to a new frontier, one the league should safeguard. Charles Barkley, never one for subtlety, demanded heads, roll over her Team USA snub for the Paris Olympics. Officially, Clark was left off for experience reasons. Unofficially, some execs worried her media storm would overshadow veterans. The decision backfired. Stephen A. Smith and half of NBA Twitter roasted it, saying the WNBA left millions of viewers on the table. Even Clark's golf cameo at the LPGA's Pelican Pro-Am drew bigger crowds than some WNBA games, with Golf Channel scrambling to air her swings live. Sponsors started whispering about dual sport deals, and the nightmare scenario hit home. What if Clark, battered by hoops, picked a safer sport? One team owner, fed up with the chaos, decided the league's golden goose needed a shield.Q, the fastest overhaul in WNBA history. By late 2024, the league elevated 12 referees to full-time status with year-round pay. They built a replay hub modeled on the NBA's, with live review powers for landing zone contact. Automatic ejections for cheap shots became standard, and fines for flagrant shoves on shooters doubled. A mid-season mini-camp reset whistle consistency, targeting Clark's high-traffic drives. For 2025, the WNBA also announced a 44-game regular season, a tweaked 1-1-1 playoff format, and more chartered flights, changes fueled by the revenue Clark's popularity brought. Players noticed. One veteran told reporters, "You have to be great as a ref now, not just good." Clark, ever the diplomat, joked at Media Day, "I told coach I'm capping at 2 technicals this year. After that, lunch is on me." But there's a real question behind the smile. Can these changes keep up with a star who's rewriting the game? And that wasn't the whole story. Clark's resilience shone through the noise. Early on, she admitted to feeling lost in the locker room. Some veterans welcomed her. Others, competing for minutes, kept their distance. She described it as reading a room while sprinting a marathon. But she adapted. A vet showed her how to spin contact into and one plays. Late-night film sessions turned no calls into counter moves. By season's end, the timid rookie was gone. She logged 769 points, 122 threes, and 337 assists, first rookie to hit those marks. Her playoff performance with 25 points, 5 rebounds, and 5 assists in a single game was a WNBA first. Off the court, she stayed grounded, shrugging off controversies with a golf trip or a podcast quip. Yet as she preps for 2025, one question lingers. Will the league's new whistle match her vision? Caitlin Clark's rookie season was a paradox, a triumph that exposed cracks in the WNBA's foundation. She brought millions to a league that hadn't seen such buzz in decades, but every missed call risked turning that surge into a mirage. The 2025 reforms, full-time refs, replay hubs, tougher fines, aimed to protect stars like her while sustaining the boom she sparked. But it's not just about Clark. It's about a sport at a crossroads, where every whistle shapes the future. If the changes stick, her second season could cement the WNBA as a global force. If they falter, the league risks proving its critics right, that it can capture the world's eyes but lose them in a single bad call. As Clark laces up for May's tip-off, every ref's breath, blown or held, will decide whether this golden era soars or stumbles. What do you think? Can the WNBA protect its future? Or is Clark's story just the start of a bigger fight? Click that thumb up and subscribe so you don't miss out on all the latest news.